How's it going, folks? Rob and
Bianca
here, and you can hear Jack munching on a pig's ear behind us because we've already tried to film this and he was walking all over us.
Yes.
This week's video, we're going to give you a little bit more in-depth look at what we're looking property-wise, because we're not on the road and I don't have a sconake. Also to give you guys a bit of a cautionary tale of something we did that we really regret doing.
Yes.
So hopefully you folks don't make the same mistake we did. Yeah, so I suppose we should probably start off what we're looking for, starting with location.
Yes.
As you'll hear later on, we didn't really take the driving distance into consideration, mainly because Bianca and I both have fathers that we want to stay close by for medical reasons. What we're trying to do is stay no further than, say, 4 hours from basically here, Brisbane. So at a drop of a hat, we can hop in a car and shoot down and, you know, help out where we can. Or, yeah, worst case scenario stuff. What we're looking at, the dream spot for us always was Gympie, but unfortunately the prices over the last couple of years have just skyrocketed. So it's very hard trying to find something we want in the Gympie area, but it's a 2-hour drive from Brisbane. It's a sweet spot. The next one up would be Maryborough at a 3-hour drive, which we pretty much all said, yeah, 3 hours is okay. Bianca spends 2 hours a day on a train at the moment, so yeah, 3 hours isn't that bad. Oh, by the way, there is a train line that goes all the way up to Gympie as well and further up.
Yes.
Now, Bundaberg is further up again. It's roughly around about 4.5 to 5 hours, maybe longer, depending on what they're doing on the highway roadwork wise. Realistically, that area and Gin are probably, while we really love Gin, I think
it's probably pushing the boundary.
Yeah, we have to be realistic. Now, the other travel requirement we have is Bianca's work. Someone's got to pay the bills. So Bianca needs to work within an hour's drive of a major centre. She works for a large public organisation, so she needs to be near a local hub, so to speak. So those hubs would be Bundaberg, Maryborough, Hervey Bay and Gympie. So she needs to work within an hour's drive from there. At the moment, hours travel each way on the train for her for work, so under that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but it's nothing I'm not used to.
Yeah, so that's, and I also earn money selling things and doing the rest, so it's not like I'm got myself a sugar mama, although she's pretty sweet.
You do.
Yeah, she is pretty sweet. That's enough of that now. The other bits and pieces is water security, as we mentioned before. The exterior of the property ideally should be fully fenced, or if not, have the ability to be fully fenced. I wonder if these folks can hear Jack crunching behind us.
He's very noisy.
He is very noisy. As we mentioned in the previous one, as per the bank's instruction, toilet and power is a must, whether it's off-grid power already installed. Septic system is fine, because obviously you're not going to be on town
Just
sewage.
has to be livable utilities.
Livable utilities. Partially treed, that is our prerequisite. Cattle up to 10 head preferred. A lot of people have given me the heads up that they've had much larger blocks and they haven't been able to run 10 head of cattle. We're totally aware of this, not total noobs. Yeah, and poultry, of course. That's the outline as we have it at the moment. Things may change along the road. Ultimately, we would like to go off-grid using different resources, wind for pumping water, solar for electricity. Most of these places have had some sort of solar already in there. So, folks, Jack has finished his pig's ear, which means it's time to get on to property number 1, apparently. He's the director of this show. The first house was west of Gin. It was just over an hour from Bundaberg, so that would have made it okay for Bianca. 32 hectare, 79 acres. There's a 4-bedroom house, a pool. We didn't video the pool mainly because we're not interested in pools. I have seen older ads of the house though, and they used it as a fish pond. It was basically a natural swimming pool. Water security wise, it did have a large dam and a bore. A nice gazebo out the back for sitting around after a hard day's work. Or
It was huge.
Yeah, or maybe holding some
Workshops?
workshops, that's the word.
That's the word.
Brain blank. It also had a rather large flight aviary or chicken coop.
Well, they had king parrots and chickens in there.
Yeah, so it was
a bit of both.
A bit of both, and it was also snake proof, which is a huge bonus. Really like the idea of having a snake proof chicken pen. The Property itself had a good deal of potential for what we wanted, except it was a little bit far away. Something we didn't talk about with distance before as well. Because Bianca and I want to hold courses, having it so far away from a large population decreases the amount of, or the potential people to come out and just do a course. If they're going to travel for 3 hours, then listen to me yabber on for another 4 to 6 hours, and then drive home, it's too much. That's why we're looking at that Gympie area being the sweet spot. Come on, buddy.
Over here. Good
Good
boy.
boy.
Good boy.
So, yeah, while the gazebo would have been great to do a workshop, a little bit too far out, we think. The rest of the property did have some glamping potential. There was a nice clear spot over the other side of the dam we could have used. There was some cleared areas on the first little hill behind the property. We could have set up tents. The property was only about 1/3 clear, if that, for cattle. Probably run about 3 or 4 head of cattle on there.
It did have a crush at the front.
Yeah, it did
And
have.
gates, it was...
Oh no, it didn't. That wasn't a crush. It looked like a crush.
It was a cattle yard.
There was a cattle yard.
But it was
the ramp,
collapsing a bit.
the ramp needed just a little bit of TLC. So we ended up, just deciding before we even hopped in the car that this property pretty much wasn't for us. So. That was a bit of a bust, that one, but such is, if you don't check them out, you don't know. Just wanted to quickly remind you about the Living the Off-Grid Dream course that I'm currently doing. Fantastic information in that course on potential economic engines on the property, something you can develop to help pay for the property, different ways to get investor funding into it, and promotion on social media and that sort of thing, social networks, to try and get customers to your property. Heaps of different income options and suggestions. They have mentoring groups and all sorts of things. It's called Living the Off-Grid Dream. There will be a more in-depth video on that after I finish it. I'm about 60% of the way through at the moment and absolutely loving it. I've gotten loads of value out of there as it stands. So there is an affiliate link down below. If you click on it, you'll be sent a free video that you can check out, no obligation to buy. But if you do purchase after viewing that video using my link, I do get a couple of bob to help us fund our off-grid dream. On to property number 2, and this is where the cautionary tale comes in. We'll run through the specs of the property first. I actually printed it out, it's so huge. Absolutely awesome people, absolutely mind-blowing property. So it is 40 acres, a little bit on the small side for what we were looking at, which is roughly 16 hectares. It was previously a tropical fruit and citrus orchard with market gardening. I think she said they were growing pumpkins in the front, 4 small market garden paddocks out the front. 3-bedroom home, core filled.
Huge rooms.
Huge, massive lounge rooms, bedrooms. Haven't seen so many screws in a roof in a non-cyclone area. It had a 6.6 kilowatt back-to-grid solar system. We were told that they were getting roughly $30 to $40 a month in credit for the solar being fed back into the grid. So there's an instant income of $30 a month. The home itself, absolutely beautiful. Tiled floors, modern kitchen. We couldn't fault it. Absolutely gorgeous. The other infrastructure on the property was a large lockable workshop. There was also a 4-bay shed that had an open area that used to be the packing area for the citrus farm when it was around. It had a cold room. If we killed our own livestock, we could have hung them there. It saves on renting a portable cold room for the country kill butchers. There's also a large timber and tin powered shed, which is lockable. Was previously used by the original owners. They lived in it as they developed the property pre the house being built. It also has bathroom and toilet facilities nearby as well. The small little granny flat also had a septic system and a water tank as well, both of them concrete, which is a bit of a bonus
and
there.
A hot water system?
Yeah, hot water system, electricity, the whole works. So there's opportunity for instant income or a granny flat for visitors to come and stay in for us. So yeah, so far we're ticking all the boxes. It had a large chook shed with 4 sections.
Yes.
So we could see opportunity for running quails, ducks and chickens all in one spot. It had a large greenhouse midway through the cleared part of the property that had a couple of holes dug in the ground. They were holding water, could have been turned into some sort of fish pond for fish breeding. Could have been an option, I don't know. Have to learn a little bit more from Mr. Bruce about that one first, but that was a possibility that I saw in that. Oh, still existing lime trees,
Yes.
existing dragon fruit trees, other tropical fruit trees there, macadamia nut tree,
There's bananas up the back.
mulberry bush, yeah, like I said, ticked all the boxes.
Macadamia nuts.
Macadamia nuts,
That was the
yeah.
one.
2 bores, one down the front paddock section, one up the rear paddock section. Seasonal creek that couldn't do a lot with it because it's a named creek, and named creeks can't really be interfered with as far as I know for damming or leaky weirs or diversion or something like that. I may be wrong. 2 massive large dams. The first one is right out the back door. Looks absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
Not something we were looking for. Like I said, we would live in a shed, but just the house and then opening up onto that, just absolutely fantastic view. Another large dam down the front that they pumped from for the front market garden. Water lilies on that too, looked pretty nice.
Yep.
The perimeter was newly cleared by owners, only one side fenced and a little bit of fencing for the sheep that they had on the property. We ended up making an offer then and there on the day, a verbal offer for the property.
Yep.
And we think we made a really big mistake, mainly because it's a 5.5 hour drive from Brisbane. We came in from another way, and I'd actually knocked back looking at this property earlier on, was talked into going by the owner, and I don't blame her. Like I said, it ticked every single box we
It was
had.
beautiful.
Except for the distance, something we hadn't thought about until we actually got up there. Driving home, all the way home, we were making plans, what we were going to do, and then it just dawned on us.
And the panic set in.
Bianca hadn't spoken to her dad and went, oh, I've got to catch up with Dad, and then I think that started the gears rolling. And also too, I'm always on call for Mum, and that it just sort of like, yeah, 3.5 hours, not a problem, but 5.5 hours, if someone's rushed to hospital, in some conditions, you don't have 5.5 hours to say your goodbyes on that. So,
Yep.
and the owner, I tell you what, if it was me, I would have just been a little bit more indignant. The phone call we made the next morning, rang them up as soon as we could. We realised what we'd done the next morning, and hopefully they still got some people through the house and view it the next day. Again, if you ever watch this, folks, we are from the heart, well and truly sorry. We did that to you folks.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Hopefully in the future we will be a little bit more sensible about it and have that 24-hour cooling off period. We normally have a cooling off period on everything, but this place just ticked all the boxes. Everyone's telling us properties are being snapped up like that, and we just thought that we had to pull the trigger. Otherwise we were going to miss out on something without thinking about it fully.
Yes.
So, yes, word of caution and
Valuable lesson learnt.
valuable lesson learned. If we were just going to retire,
it'd be perfect.
we didn't want to continue helping people, we could have bought that property and not worried about getting another income or earning an income from it. We could have just Bianca go to work, me continue to do my YouTube.
We're not ready.
We're not ready to retire yet. This is ending on a bit of a downer, I know. But hopefully there will be more happier, uplifting videos coming in the future on the big farm search. We looking at going out every second weekendish at the moment, if properties become available for us to view. Just with Bianca's work schedule, we can have 3-day weekends every second week. And we've got someone teed up to babysit the Jack dog, who's fallen asleep on the other lounge. So yeah, we should be pretty much all right to go. Please do leave any suggestions or comments down in the comment section. We learn from them, and if people want to ask questions, I'm going to try to get back to these videos ASAP and answer those questions for you, as long as they're sensible questions. And yeah, I think I will pretty much leave it there. So there you go, folks. I do hope you're all well and happy, and hopefully there will be another one of these very soon, and I'll catch you later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Before we get going though, we thought what we'd do is have a bit of a chat about what we actually want in a property, a little bit more comprehensive one. I had a bit of a scon the other day, and we were a bit rushed for time. So is this going to be an issue, Jack? Hey buddy? Yes?
No, come on.
Come on.